Welcome to Mad About Money. I'm Maddy Alexander-Grout, and this is the podcast where we talk to interesting people about their interesting money stories. I'm here with Lynsey Grace, who is a mindset coach for ambitious women. And she's great. We've just been chatting about all these things, and actually, she likes TikTok as much as I do. So it's lovely to have you on the show. Lynsey, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes. Hi. Thank you for having me. And yeah, we did have a cool chat then. We had to crack on with recording this podcast. So a little bit about myself. I basically had some stuff that happened with me about 5 years ago, which has led me to finding my truth, which is becoming a life coach and supporting other women to just basically stand in their power, to get out of their own way, to remove limiting beliefs, to stop feeling not enough. I love women that are tenacious, ambitious, but are currently maybe feeling a little bit stuck. I love mindset. I love subconscious work. I do EFT, transformational coaching. It's all that like self-development,
Yeah,
self-empowerment. I love that vibe, of people wanting more from their life and knowing that they can have it.
absolutely. I mean, who doesn't? That is amazing. So the question I ask everybody on this show, is what's your money story?
My money story. I got into money, probably money beliefs and money stories and healing my money wounds probably about 2 or 3 years ago. But becoming an entrepreneur 2 years ago definitely rocketed that journey and definitely put a magnifying glass on my limits. I would earn quite high cash months and then either I'd feel nothing or I'd spend it or I felt bad, or I felt like I had to over deliver to those clients that had paid me. There was a lot to it. So I had to unpick that really. Which is something I now help my clients with as well. Because I believe as women, I believe we're conditioned from such a long, long time ago, and even our family's lineage, we've got to break and heal the wounds of our ancestors. I really believe that. I believe
Yeah.
as women, we're conditioned to if you think it was only our mums and dads generation where the majority of the men went out to work and the women would stay at home and raise the children, or maybe a bit before that. I mean, my mum had a few jobs, but still it was almost like my dad was the breadwinner and my dad,
Mm,
the one who would earn the bulk of the money and buy the holidays and stuff like that. So I do think women have to shift that perspective a little bit and start to do that, you have to almost step out your comfort zone and be seen and be heard and just be the person that you want to be and not fear the judgment, fear the failure or fear the success. So many of my clients fear success because it could mean, more judgment, more pressure, a bigger tax bill. There's so much that goes on with money.
there is indeed.
Yeah.
So what's your earliest memory of money?
Yeah. I guess it's just that kind of what your mum and dad used to say. My dad used to say money doesn't grow on trees.
Mm,
And my dad was very much, which is a good thing, very much into saving, but it was almost maybe a bit of a saving in lack. Like it might not come back, or there might not be enough of it. A little bit of he was very generous, but yeah, also made me feel, maybe I felt a bit like, oh, it might run out, or we might not have enough of that. Where that's never been the case. We've always had enough. And that's one of my mantras now, there's always enough.
yeah. No matter how stuck you feel, like I
Yeah.
think there have been times where I've thought, shit, I'm not going to be able to pay my mortgage this month, or I'm not
Yeah.
going to be able to pay my bills. But it always comes from somewhere.
Mm.
And as long as you've got that positivity and that mindset of like that growth mindset, I always find that it does come no matter what you try and do.
Yeah.
So you were in sales before.
Yes.
What made you decide to start your own business?
So in 2019, I got diagnosed with breast cancer, and I also
Oh
then
wow.
and 2 weeks later, because of the diagnosis, I managed to find the headspace to leave a relationship that was 3 years of being pretty toxic, if I'm honest. So
Mm,
within 2 weeks of 2019, in May, quite a lot had happened to me. But what I took from that was that I needed to create a place in my mind and in myself of boundaries, self-love, self-worth, self-acceptance, all this stuff again that I now work and help my clients with. But I had to go on this journey. And luckily, I already had a mindset of like, right, okay, we'll get through this. Let's go. Right. I need to leave this relationship because that's clearly not good for me. So I was very much that way out anyway. And the doctor
mm,
told me the diagnosis, and I was like, right, what do we need to do? So I was very pragmatic and very much like a doer and a mover on. I didn't wallow. I didn't sit in it. I decided that this was going to be okay. I was going to heal, but I also wanted to take something from that diagnosis. I didn't want it to just be a victim to it. So I was
Mm,
very much of like, okay, I need to get something from that. And what I got was, first of all, gratitude for finding the lump and being alive, and also having the balls to leave that relationship that I couldn't for 3 years. I couldn't get myself to leave it. But that diagnosis gave me a right kick up the arse. And I'm really grateful for that, because that just led me on to, it just opened up like this whole new mindset, this whole new self-worth, this whole new being me. And it led
mm.
me to do the work that I do now, which is, as I say, coaching and mentoring other women. It led me to find my now partner, that at the end of 2019, I met him on the first date. I was like, my God, I feel like this is it. Just last year in September, he moved in, and we're now looking at buying a house together, and
Oh, amazing.
yeah, so the love story does happen, but I believe that had to happen. I had to attract him and that love, which is like, we don't argue. The old relationships I've had with partners, there was a lot of toxicity, a lot of arguing, and a lot of hustle and back and forth.
Mm,
This one's really peaceful, and that's how I think true, pure, peaceful, pure harmonious relationships with anyone in your life. It should be peaceful. It should be joyous. It should be fun.
yeah.
Want that, the anxiety and the hardness of it. So yes, this relationship is very much, but I feel like I manifested him as well. So I talk a lot about
Oh,
manifesting.
I
If
think
anyone,
I think I might have manifested mine as well, actually, in a weird way.
yeah,
Yeah, we've been together for, where are we? We got married in 2016, so that's what, like 8 years ago,
yeah,
7 years ago, be eight this year. And we've been together for 12 years. So it, it's he's a pain in my ass sometimes, but he is
yeah,
like, we don't fight.
yeah.
And if we do fight, it's like an hour. We make up, we kiss and make up, and we go to sleep. It's not like there's never any like beef, because we know each other so well. He's like my ADHD carer. So he's the person who's like, you've got rejection sensitivity for dysphoria again. And he's like, why are you upset about that? Because you know that's how your brain works. And I'm like, yes, I do, yes. But he's also the person who like keeps our house together. I
Mm,
mean, I hate cleaning. I am not a cleaner.
mhm,
He's the person, I mean, bless him, he's like, he really does work hard. He goes to his job, he comes home, he cooks, he cleans, he's like, he looks after me. I'm like a kept woman. It's brilliant. But we do have the best banter, the best laughs. We've always got our little quirks and little things that we do together. And he puts up with a lot of my shit. And I think, do you know what? He is a saint. I don't know how or where I found him, but like definitely a saint. So when you know, right?
yeah. But I didn't, until I set this emotion of that self-worth, boundaries, self-belief, self-love, really. I do believe that's one of the foundations to any happy human
Mm.
experience, really just honoring yourself and respecting yourself and self-esteem. But yeah, until I started that journey after the diagnosis, I was putting up with all sorts, really. And that's my own responsibility. I accepted it. And that's
And
something
how
that I've
and how did
learned. Mm.
how did that relationship affect your money?
What, my new one or past
The old
relationship?
one, the
Old one.
the
How did it
toxic
affect?
one.
Yeah, how did it affect money? I should, I suppose you want a different answer on this podcast, but I don't really feel like it did. I mean, my
No.
self-esteem, no, I feel like my money stories mostly come out since being an entrepreneur, because you're not protected. I was in a corporate job where I'd get a set wage and I could earn commission. So everything was
Mm.
regimented, and we all have upper limits and lower limits, like energetic money ceilings. We have like an upper and a lower. And my lower was never like, I'd always, at the end of the month, always have a couple of £100 and a bit of savings. Whereas being
Mm.
an entrepreneur, I've definitely had months where I'm like, oh my God, right, shit, okay. Where's it coming
We
from?
don't, yeah, we don't talk
No,
about those times. Like, and sometimes it's more common than not. And I think more
of
people need to talk
course.
about it.
Yeah, of course. Well, I've definitely had months like that. And like you're saying about your partner, my boyfriend has definitely helped me out. And when you say it just comes in, it does. Sometimes it's in the form of a boyfriend. He's like,
Yeah, right.
no problem, I'm here for it. But then I've had massive highs as well. So then it's about, yeah, my money story is definitely within entrepreneurship, where I've not had the comfort zone of having a steady wage.
And how do you think being an entrepreneur kind of affect your mindset around that, because that can be quite a difficult pill to swallow,
Yes.
especially for people who kind of liken not liken their success, but like kind of people who kind of see their success as directly linked to their money.
Yeah.
I know that I can be like that, and if there are months where I don't do very well money wise, I think I'm shit at this and I need to give it up.
Yes.
But I know that, I mean, deep down in my heart, I know that actually I'm really bloody good at what I do.
Yeah.
And it just sometimes happens that way where people just go through stages where they don't want to buy.
I think that's the difference. I think being an entrepreneur, you have definitely got to have fire in your belly. You've definitely got to be
Mm,
tenacious for what you do. Because if this was me, the ups and downs, the financial roller coaster that I think is very common, and I've definitely gone through and go through. I think if you were in a job, what I didn't like, I know personally, if I was in a job and I was going a financial roller coaster, I would have left 10 times by now. I would have been like, this is shit, I'm
mm,
going, I'm off. But because it's something that I'm so passionate about, and I actually can see the bigger picture, I can see it being the money that I want on a steady, regular basis. But with entrepreneurship, because it's like personal steroids development on steroids, because you're learning about yourself so much, as well as earning money, as well as marketing, as well as
yeah.
that and that. It's like a life-changing experience being an entrepreneur. And I don't
Mm.
know how many listeners are entrepreneurs on here, but my God, it's definitely,
Most of them, I'd say.
yeah, yeah. For me, entrepreneurship is definitely personal development on steroids. You have to look in the mirror, cold hard, look at yourself and go, okay, like you said, that's affected my self-esteem that I've not got any clients this month, but how am I going to carry on? Well, I believe in what I do, so I'm not going to listen to that voice that says you've got no clients, you shit. I'm going to go, no, I'm not. I'm going to keep going. And we were talking about TikTok, and for me personally, I've been on Instagram for about 2 years, and that is very roller coasty, sometimes high, sometimes I put a lot of effort into it. Now, last week, after being inspired by listening to some of your posts, Maddie, I was like,
Ah,
I'm genuinely, yeah, I'm going to go all in on TikTok. I'm going to do it. So intention setting is super powerful. I am also a master manifester. I believe in planting positive seeds and focusing on action, all that stuff. The science of manifesting, I love. So I went in last Wednesday into TikTok, and I've probably created about 10 videos. And just less than 24 hours ago, I've now got a video gone viral at over 220 views, another one at
woo!
30,000 views, and da, 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 and
Amazing.
I've got over 3,000 followers in less than 24 hours. So now I'm like, right, this is where you need to hang on. When those times are telling you that it's not happening, no one's listening, da, 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 da,
And
this is.
how long have you been on TikTok for?
I've been on TikTok for about 2 years, but never really bothered
Right.
with it.
Because
Yeah.
this is the thing. A lot of people say to me, "Oh, TikTok's not very good." And it's like, but how much effort are you actually putting into it?
No, no.
If you're not showing up and you're not actually putting in the graft to make it grow, it's not going to grow.
My
You,
opinion of
you have
TikTok was my daughter. I've got a 13-year-old daughter, and my opinion of TikTok is that it is not my audience. It's full of children. It's this, it's that. However, and I'm still at the journey of understanding TikTok, but I'm more open to it because, as I say, if I see success stories like yourself where you can earn
mm,
money off that, then I'm like, well, why would I not give it a like wholehearted go? And I'm very
yeah,
good at creating content, and I know sales psychology. So I'm like, so if other people can make it work, so can I. So let's try it.
absolutely,
Do it.
absolutely. And the thing is, it's not a short game. TikTok is a long game, but when you start seeing those rewards, it will start getting, it will start going. So I was on TikTok for about 2 months before I had my first viral video, 2 to 3 months. And my first viral video put me over 1,000 followers. So when people say to me, "Oh, I need to get 1,000 followers," like, now there are days where I get 1,000 followers in one day. But it doesn't always happen overnight. It's just that, that there's another content creator that I've followed for a while. And there are times where like he goes and talks about his like first viral video. I think he was on for something like 8 months. And he was like a day away from giving up. And he had an idea for a video. He did the video and it went viral and it changed everything. And that was kind of what my journey was like. It was like I started on TikTok because my Instagram got deleted. Instagram just one day just decided to delete my account. I tried to set it back up again. It got deleted again because it's like clearly on my IP address. And I just thought, fuck this for a laugh. I'll go and try and do something different. And because I needed an outlet for me to talk about my money stuff. So I perfected my niche. I became a go-to person in my niche talking about the thing that I talk about. And you can go on TikTok and talk about whatever you want. There is a talk for everything. So something that I talk about a lot in my trainings, that you could be like a hairdresser, you could be somebody who makes shoes, you can be a life coach, you can be like, I mean, one of my clients who she does knit solutions and knit combs. And she said to me, I don't want to be on TikTok. I said, be on TikTok. She said, I don't really want to be on TikTok. And I said, just go and start watching some content on there, like see what's happening. Go and search for knits and see what people are talking about. And she came back to me. She said, Maddie, my business is out there. People are talking about my business. And I'm like, there you go. There's your reason. That's why you need to be on TikTok. And there are so many common misconceptions with it, but it is the fastest growing platform. It's got 1.9 billion users, and those people have specific special interests. If you're an ADHDer and you have a business, well, even if you have a business that works with ADHDers, TikTok is your prime place because it's where people go for their dopamine. So it's easy to know how to grow on TikTok when you know how. And there's only a few things that I teach people that are really, really fucking simple that help people to go viral and help people to grow. And that's the thing. Like, I could talk about this is not even my podcast. It is my podcast, but it's your podcast. And we've talked a bit about me now. So like, that's how passionate I am about TikTok, and it's changed my life.
Yeah.
So, I went from like running I mean, this time last year, I was in an employed job. I was in an employed job this time last year, running a business that used to be my business for somebody else. And it was shit. It was really shit. Like, my business failed. I had to sell the assets so I could liquidate it. I got offered a job and they were like, Maddie, come and work for us. After 3 months of working for them, they were like, Maddie, you're doing an amazing job. Why don't you be CEO? And I went, fuck off. I don't want to do that. No, I'm not going to be CEO of the company that I founded and watch somebody else taking my money. No, not a chance. So I thought, what am I going to do? I'm going to be a TikTok influencer. And I just thought, do you know what? That's what I'm going to do. And this time last year, I had 15,000 followers, maybe. Now I've got 54,000 followers because I followed a process. And that's all it is. It's following a process. It's showing up. It's being consistent, being authentic, and it's talking about your thing. That's all it is. If you want to know the ins and outs of it, come on my course. But that is genuinely the simple answer of how you can grow. And it's not that hard.
Mm.
Anyway, I ran out of breath there a bit. Let's talk more about you. That was not meant to be a sales pitch, but I get very, very, very like when people say to me, I don't want to be on TikTok, I'm like, why? Why would you not want to be somewhere where your people are?
Mm.
And it is a common misconception that people go on and they think, oh yeah, it's going to be full of like 18-year-olds doing dances. Sure, there's a market for them because, weird pervy men want to look at 18-year-olds doing dances. But, the majority of the other people on TikTok are there to actually learn from other people. And if you are a coach or somebody who has a really good product that helps people in their life and you're out there talking about that thing, there are going to be people that are going to want to buy from you eventually.
Mm.
Might not happen overnight, but it will happen.
Mm.
So you are doing an amazing job. And I'm actually really excited about the fact that you are so determined to grow.
Yeah.
What's your TikTok handle so everybody can go and follow you?
My TikTok handle is Lynsey Grace, Lynsey, and then Grace, Lynsey Grace. Yeah,
And
I mean,
what sort of things do you talk about over there?
so I am passionate, like you, about what I talk. I love subconscious rewiring and reprogramming, how the mind how the mind works, the subconscious mind, how we can override it, how we can use it to our success and more wealth, and manifesting, which is basically kind of subconscious work, but like the scientific view of it. I don't believe in think of it and it shall arrive. But I do believe we're all energetic beings. I believe there's a universal connection of consciousness. I believe that most of us are in our conscious mind for 5% of the day. The rest of that time is in subconscious. So what programs have you got running the show in your subconscious? So many people don't know. It's just like, I'll get up and do this. That's just who I am. I'm like, no. So my videos, the one that went viral is a challenge that I set to manifest in 24 hours. And I've had some beautiful messages, and my own gift, I think, in this manifesting challenge was that I've so far, in less than 24 hours, got over 200,000 views or whatever they do, 6,000 saves, 3,000 followers,
Amazing.
and that was just from a manifesting challenge that I put out to everyone. And I'm like, okay. So yeah, my thing is mindset and motivation. I love inspiring people. I love people being motivated. I love people getting out their own way. I don't work with
Mm.
victims. I don't like people who are woe is me. I am very much, I was saying this, I am not a people pleaser, and I love people that don't people please. And I
Yeah, I mean,
know,
I think typically ADHDers are people pleasers because we don't want to upset anybody.
yeah,
But I have really started to come into my own with that,
yeah.
and I'm saying no to a lot of it. It's really powerful.
Can I give this perspective on people pleasing? I
Absolutely.
understand why people pleasers are that way. I understand it comes from fear of upsetting someone, fear of judgment, fear of not being enough. There's a fear base behind it, and wanting to be liked. I'll say yeah because I want to be liked, but you don't put yourself first. But on the other side of that fence, if I ask a people pleasing person to do something for me, I then cannot trust whether they are saying that because, yes, I am 100% wanting to do this, or whether it comes from a place of, oh, that's just who I am, and I want you to like me, and I want to like you. So
Yes.
for me, I find that really difficult because I would rather, and I respect someone much more if they just say no, and I'm like, great, okay, fine, let's move on. Because I find it really. It was actually my boyfriend that planted that seed because I never really thought of it that way, and he's like, "What if they're a people pleaser?" And I was like, "Oh fuck, oh shit,
And I
right."
tell you what, like, because I'll give this as an example, like doing skill swaps for people. I used to do it all the time, but to the point where, like, actually, I believe so much in the flow of money and that what you pay for, actually, in some way, you get back, especially when it's like courses or anything that's like self-development-y, like that's a word. If you're paying for something, I think you're more dedicated to it.
Mhm.
And I think if you are growing and you're paying for stuff, then you will get stuff in return. But I
Absolutely.
think if you're giving yourself away
Yeah.
and you're expecting somebody else to give themselves away, there's always a kind of, well, am I giving enough value to that person? Is that person giving enough value to me? Whereas when you're paying for it, it's easy to know how much value is being exchanged.
Mhm.
But there's also a question of, if you're doing so many things for free, even if you're getting things for free, are you burning out?
Yeah. I
And
think that's a
that
good
is
one.
that is my prime concern at the moment because
Yeah.
I do an awful lot.
Yeah.
So if I start doing skill swaps with people now, I'm like, ah, and I do. So I do like 2 pro bono clients every month because of the fact that I am a money specialist, and a lot of my clients are very, very poor and in a really shitty position where actually they need my help and they can't afford to pay me.
Yeah.
I do quite a bit of pro bono work. So I've got 2 clients at the moment. I've got a lady who has ADHD. She's a business owner. She is not earning enough to apply for access to work, which is how I normally get my clients. And she is in a pit of self-despair and self-loathing. And I am like, I had a call with her because she said she needed some help on something. And I said, I'm going to give you some of my time for free. I'm going to get you up to a point where you're earning enough with access to work so that you can pay me. And then I've got another lady who has just been through some horrendous shit. She's had someone copying her business, but her business is incredibly unique. So it's really obvious that they're copying her.
Mm.
They're charging less than her. So they're basically like undercutting her. And it's just rubbish. Like, and I said to her, look, I really feel for you. That's shit. Let's do some coaching. Um, but I don't do that very often. It's like a couple of people a month. And then once I'm done with those people, I kind of swap them
I
out.
agree with that because I believe, like, if you can, that's the whole point of more people being living an abundant life. It's the circle of life. Then you can actually give back. Like,
Yes.
it's not being greedy to want more. Because if, say, for instance, you or I earn X amount of money, it would free up our time. And then because I'm heart centered and I believe you are, you then
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. You then say, okay, well, who can I help now? I've got this spare time, or I don't need the cash this month because I've made it off people that can afford to
Mm,
pay me. So how can I then give back? So it's the circle of life. So a lot of clients come, and a lot of people I work with have like limiting beliefs of I want to be rich, but I feels really greedy, or I want to be rich, but it feels
mm.
really selfish. And they are just conditioned limiting beliefs, because the reality is more money in good people's hands will do good things. Let's just be straight there.
Absolutely, yeah, and
That's my
it took,
preach. That's my one thing that I preach
yeah.
about so much. Like, more money in good people's hands will do good things. Money is not bad or evil. Money is energy, and whoever owns the money is responsible for that money. So you'll get, a government body who have got loads of money, but they spend it on war. Whereas you'll get an entrepreneur that's got loads of money and they'll give back to charity. It doesn't
Mm.
matter. Money is not the issue here. It's the person
No, it's
behind.
the person behind the money, exactly that. And I think there's a lot to be said for the mindset around that. So I mean, my mindset used to be, I don't like these people talking about how much money they earn on the internet because I feel like it's really icky. And then I thought about it. And I thought, actually, no. Do you know what? It depends what they're using that money for, how icky it is. Um, and I know that when I've got more money, I do more giveaways in the app, for example. We just give away money for free because it helps people. I know that if I'm earning more money from my coaching, I can give back to my coaching clients. If I'm earning more money from my influencer work, it means that I can do influencer work for charities, which I've just started doing. Or it means that, like, if there's a company who really can't afford to pay me, but they can give me something as a gifted product, I can do that because I'm earning my money from elsewhere.
Yeah.
So it's really important to kind of think about the flow and the energy of money. And I really, really feel that. And if you think you're bad with money, you will be bad with money.
Mhm.
You're not bad with money, you just don't know how to manage it properly. And that's, where people like us come in. You can help from the mindset perspective of it. We can help from the managing perspective of it, and the kind of helping you to stay on track, giving you a community of people to actually talk to about your money, because that's something that really helps people as well. It's having like that accountability and those people, just knowing that somebody else gives a shit about what's going on in your life. Because when I had money problems, I was completely on my own. Yes, I had family, yes, I had friends, but if I talked about it, they'd be like, oh, Maddie's whinging about her money again.
Mm.
So it was hard. Doing it on your own is difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is tough to change your mindset when the physical evidence is, "Oh, I've got no money in the bank, so how can you expect me to be positive about it? How can you expect this?" But that is, again, all part of a journey and all part of a learning curve. And maybe that's the wake up call to be more consistent, or to get a job, or to, I don't know. There's always, we have to take radical responsibility for ourselves. And
Mm,
that is part of life's lesson, because we can so often go, well, if I had a job that paid better, then I'd be better with money. If I had a partner that was rich, or if I won the lottery, there's all these outward things where we give our power away. And if that changed, then I would be a better person. I would be richer, healthy, happier. It's absolute BS, because you have to take
mm,
radical responsibility. Everything you currently have in life, you created. Whether you like it or not, it was through a choice that you made. And that could be through a belief that you've got from childhood. But again, this is where the subconscious mind and the mindset work, you have to do it. You have to start waking
absolutely.
up.
Yeah. And the only way that I got myself out of debt was by not telling myself I was crap and that I was bad with money,
Yeah.
because I would have never got anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, and it's that thing like where people fall off and they're like, oh, I was supposed to be having a no spend month and I've now spent loads of money. It's like, just start again. Don't beat yourself up about it. If you spend your life saying, oh my God, I'm victim mode again, feeling really bad about yourself because you're so bad with money, you will always be stuck in that trap.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
it's getting out of it.
What you
Lynsey,
focus on expands. But yes, go on.
exactly. Yeah. So how can people work with you?
I would love to connect with people. I'm still on Instagram, so I'm Lynsey Grace Coaching, spell Lynsey Grace Coaching, over on Instagram, and I'm on TikTok now. I am a TikToker. Lynsey
Amazing.
Lynsey Grace. I work with my clients one to one. I've also got a free masterclass coming up towards the beginning. This, I don't know when people are listening, but this is February 2024. I'm also doing a money course, money mindset course as well, in early this year. But just reach out and see. I've got a freebie. If they want to go on my website, I can give you the link, Mads. And
Yeah. Just
it's a
say it as well. Say it as
yeah,
well.
it's
All
an
good.
EFT video bundle. It's absolutely free for you to download. You've got your own portal. There's journal prompts. There's an EFT video. There's a future visualization in there to listen to, and it's all about removing those limiting beliefs and getting out your own way so that you can have the success you want, the money in the bank, the boyfriend, the girlfriend, the happy relationships. You can have it all. But first of all, you really have to look at yourself and take responsibility for those beliefs that you've got. And how can you change it? Because they create your reality.
Absolutely. I've loved this session. I think it's been really, really helpful and really good to talk about it. So thank you so much for coming on. For those of you guys who are listening, if you could please hit that subscribe button, leave us a review if you've enjoyed today's episode or any of our other episodes. I always forget to ask for that, so I'm feeling like I'm coming to my power today. And if you're watching it, listening to it, on any of the platforms other than Mad About Money app, then you need to go and download Mad About Money as well. It is not just an app for people who think they're bad with money. It's an app for people who want to grow their money, scale their money, invest in new things. It's an app that helps everybody with their money. We're neuro inclusive, which basically means that we support all types of brains. So if you are neurodivergent, neurotypical, or even neurocurious, which is a word I heard today, which I'm quite liking, kind of where you think you may be, but you're not really sure. We support all of those types of brains. So do come and download the Mad About Money app. It is the place to hang out if you want to be better with your money in whatever way, shape, or form that comes in. If you want to connect with me, Maddy Alexander-Grout on LinkedIn, or you can follow me, Mad About Money Official on TikTok. And we will see you guys next time. Thanks for listening.